What happened? Are you glitching?
Uh,
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Here we go.
boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Sideline Junkies Thursday night throwdown. As you can see, this is a part of the umbrella of the Sideline Junkies podcast network. It's the big guy KG sitting in with none other than probably the biggest, most deaf fan you will find next to myself. It don't matter if it's Black Star, Most Def Solo, or it's Yasin Bey. It is the Midnight Rider, and
Here we
is
go. What's up, folks?
up to that side.
Like that. See, I got mine's mirrored, so I'm perfect.
So okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
I see. The pictures don't normally. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well, like KG said, welcome to the Thursday night episode of Sideline Junkies. It's the big guy KG. It's myself, the Midnight Rider, the man of a million names. It's the Thursday show, and on Thursday, everybody says Thursday night throwdown. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do. Oh man, Ross is down there. He's in the comments early. What's going on, Ross? How you feeling? I'm glad you're here for this one because it's gonna be a doozy. But before we get fully started, before we get into it, drop them Twitter and them X handles. If you got Twitter /X, drop them handles down in the comments so we can follow you back because we trying to boogie on Twitter. And I've been doing some experiments, so we're gonna boogie on Twitter as well as Instagram and TikTok. So next up, how you feeling tonight, Midnight Rider?
I'm good. Am I lagging on your side?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
I'm feeling real like $6 million manish when I move. Feels like it's like so that's all I'm asking.
Now you're good. Now,
come on.
I need some leeway. Here.
Do your thing, man.
This is I don't want to say that this is beef, but I really do believe that this is beef, and I think this is the first time in Sideline Junkies history, and I'm a fervent believer that I know the history of this podcast. So, yeah, I think I got beef.
Come on. You gotta take the mute button off though. There we go.
Okay. I don't know if you still hear the music in the background, but it's giving me a fit. But let me say this. This phrase is over top of my head right here, do your job. This phrase has caused a lot of traffic on the interwebs. Okay. I say this is the first time because I normally don't take precedence with it. And of course, the hairstylist to the stars, the makeup artist to the stars, my lovely wife is checking in from the back of the house. I love you. It's coming. She heard me. But I normally don't take precedence with things that you guys say. I can see where you're coming from. However, this is one time I can't see where you're coming from. And I've been holding on this because all I kept hearing is content. If Ron Rivera says nothing, you're mad. And not just you. I'm not saying you're mad because you understand that. See, I told you it was coming. But if Ron Rivera said something, everybody's mad. He put up a sign that said, do your job. People are mad about do your job. And I said something on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen it, but I think it was you, Chris Russell. I think you had tagged Chris Russell in it. And I said, well, when Herb Brooks said it in 80, do your job, it pushed the team to a gold medal because everybody had to do their job. To a man, everybody had to come off and do their job. So
Monica, I hope you heard this part. Go ahead.
So if he's trying to hold them accountable, which is being said that he does not do, he said, do your job. Basically, if you do what you got to do, you ain't got to worry about what the man next to you not doing because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, it's a problem that he said that because that simple phrase is a problem. Come on, man. Y'all are dragging this right now. And I'm really, really upset about it because do your job, I guess it means something to me that it doesn't mean to y'all. What you want him to say? Get your fucking asses up and do this and your son of a bitch is this? What the fuck do you want him to say? He's holding them accountable saying do your job. If they all do their job, this is a totally different team. Maybe, just maybe, it'll inspire the offensive line not to be some hoe-ass bums. Maybe. Maybe the defense to get their head out of their ass. Maybe the coaching staff change the scheme a little bit so we can get going. I don't know. But damn it, it's something. If he quiet, well, I let him talk to this. Oh, man, why didn't Ron say something at halftime? He done lost the team. He don't have a team no more. They don't even respect him because he let them work it out. Sometimes you have to be quiet as a coach. Coaches are doing the week. On game days, that's all on the players. Tell you a quote that I heard about Vince Lombardi. I'm sorry, it wasn't Vince Lombardi. It was John Madden. John Madden prepared us so well that if we went out and lost, it wasn't John Madden's fault. It was our fault because we didn't execute how he prepared us. Something that Don Hudson said about Weeb Eubank. He said during the week, Weeb can talk all he wants, but on game day, Weeb can stay home. We don't need him. These are two of the greatest coaches and players say, hey, when it comes to game day, we got it. So I'm just like, why does that get y'all in a tizzy? Because he said, do your job. Like, come on, man. Like I said this morning, and I think that was this morning when I responded to that tweet. I was getting my ankles taped. I'm already ready. Fuck the walkthrough. I'm ready to go play. Maybe it's because I'm a Ron guy and I really like the dude. But what more do you want? Because this right here, you're dragging it. If he don't say nothing, it's a problem. He say something, it's a problem. Oh, he didn't say the right thing. Then what the fuck do you want him to say? Because if anybody in this fan base, it doesn't matter who it is. If you got something better to say to make these players play better and play up to their fucking potential, won't you say it? Won't you take over? You play. You go be the coach then. Won't you do it? But until that happens, sit back and relax. Ain't nothing gonna happen this season. We see that we gotta ride this storm out, whatever it is. If this storm winds up, we roll into 11-game win streak or something, fine, fuck it, let's go. If we only win 8 games this year, fine, fuck it, let's go. We know we got. But this is bullshit, man, and it's being dragged out. You sitting there like you itching to say something. Come on, let's say it. Let's go. Let's have a conductive dialogue here.
So this morning, I wake up. I'm in no mood to go to work. So I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to use Ron as my inspiration, and I'm going to go do my job. That was the whole impetus behind it. Then I just felt like playing with it because I'm a writer. So on the Sideline Junkies, I go, guys. This is, what is it? This is important, not interesting. It was a bunch of Ronisms. But it was nothing with me having a problem with what he said. I just thought it was funny. So, I mean, and the funny part about this is when I saw your thing on Twitter, I'm in the car with my sister on the way home. I'm like, watch KG put up some historical moment and go off on me about this. I was like, he just don't know. I was just walking around. I have no problems with the do your job side. Yeah, Ross is right. The do your job ain't the problem. And you know what? I think, to be honest, and on a serious note, I think he got to go Michael Jackson on this and hold the man in the mirror by the same standard that he's trying to hold these players to. He got to look himself in the mirror and ask himself every day, am I doing my job? And I think his offensive coordinator has to do it, and I think his defensive coordinator has to do it. And after listening to his defensive coordinator today, I'm tired. I'm tired of listening to Jack. For some reason, this team has this ability to keep a guy on the team, but never give him an opportunity. And that's a little frustrating. There's kids that show me they have skills. I mean, you can't get Danny Johnson on the field sometimes. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. Like, I just think they got to give some of these guys opportunities. I mean, you got the unfortunate situation where this week you get, what's his name, Quan Martin, and you're going to get Percy Butler on the field, but it's because of injury. You know, I mean, Percy played before, but and then there's something about this system that I don't understand. It really needs to be simplified in my firm belief, because every year, the first 5 weeks, our safeties and our corners and our linebackers look like they don't have no idea what's going on. But I love the passion, KG. I like that you stand up for your man, Ron.
I'm gonna say this. It's funny. Raw says after 4 years of the same old shit, now you're putting up a sign that says "Do your job." Fuck that, Ron. Do your job.
There we go. See, Ron. Oh well, Ron Ross on the other side.
And the thing is, I try to be as diplomatic as possible, because I know this is a right now league. It's a right now world. I mean, do I like it? No. Does that make me an old man shaking his fist at the clouds? If you want. I mean, hell, I get mad if my kids be like, hey, I'm getting a new 2K. Okay, great. I'm going to make a my play. Okay, great. Yeah, I need you to buy me some VC. Get out of my house.
Okay.
You buy VC, you can't live here. You can't even go stay with your mom. You can't stay with your aunts. You can't stay nowhere. You're not even a part of this family if you buy VC. That's not the way the game was intended to be played. That's that right now shit. Everything does not happen right now. You don't mix a cake, put it in the oven, and close the door and open it back up, and the cake's done. You got to give it time. And I get it, 4 years. I think, but if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, and Raw should there. Didn't Ron say give me 5 years?
But you can't ask. He said give me 5, yes. But the problem you're having is, if this was a relationship, you still be living at your house, she still be living at her house, and you'd be doing booty calls instead of actually going out on dates, spending time together, taking vacations. And that's where you should be at year 4. You shouldn't be at still making booty calls and trying to figure out if y'all meant to be together.
And obviously, he or she ain't the one.
Then obviously Ron ain't the one.
And Ross says it's been 4 years, 4 damn years. Each year has been the same. It's fucking Groundhog Day. Each year is the same shit.
I think Ross is fed up.
But here's the thing. I'm starting to wonder, do I have rose-colored glasses on when it comes to Ron? And Ross, you be honest with me. If I got rose-colored glasses on, tell me. Because I'm like, okay, I see the progress. It doesn't reflect in the record. I've been saying this for 2 years. Jack Del Rio has to go. And I'm thinking that, if they make a move with Jack Del Rio, it's going to come in the bye week. It's going to come right after that game, after the bye week, win, lose, or draw. And the question is, who takes over on the staff? Kerrigan is fresh out of the game, but he don't have the chops to do defensive coordinator. I don't think he has the chops to call defenses. He's never called a game. Huh?
And I say he's never called a game. A, B, he's your assistant D-line coach. So that's a hell of a promotion to begin with. Yeah. Like, it would have to be the kid. I think somebody mentioned Richard Rodgers, who's been with Ron since Carolina. And I think Ron would have to do some of the play calling. I think Ron would have to go off of and basically split the coaching staff down the middle. Give Eric his side of the offense. and then Ron takes the defense and cultivates and does everything, helps with the game plan with Rodgers, and that's the only way it happens. And that's the point where I keep trying to tell people you can't do both. You got to pick your poison. It's got to be one or the other because you're going to need somebody here to call the defense. You can't just bring somebody off the street and call Jack's defense.
So see, and this is what I was wondering. I was like, okay, the next you got Jeff Zagania.
Right, that's the D-line coach, but he's only in year 2. He took over after they fired Sam Mills Jr.
Right, and that was a personal decision. Right. Richard Rodgers is a senior defensive assistant and safeties coach. I'm on board with getting rid of. I'm on board of getting rid of Jack Del Rio altogether because everybody say I seen an article that said, "Oh, give him time because this defense always starts off slow and then they end the season top 5." But we don't need them to end the season top 5. We need to win these games now. And defense is holding us out of a lot of games because they're giving up too many points. And Ross says, it's not personal. As a person, I like Ron. He's not the guy. You know, I mean, Ross, when you was on the other night, y'all had it right. He's Moses. He took us to the River Jordan, but we can't cross over. And
he got us out of the Dan Snyder years. Yeah. And now next year he has to move on. And we'll pick up a new GM, a young guy probably somewhere successful, heavy in the analytics. And then we'll pick the coach. And they'll actually do the right process.
What's my man from ESPN? Louis Riddick.
I don't think he's going to be the man.
I remember everybody was talking about him and Mayock. And I was like, yeah, I know Mayock, his mock drafts, his scouting, him and God, I see his face, can't think his name. What's my other man that does all the mock drafts? Mayock and Kuiper. They know their shit. And I mean, most people say, "Oh man, I don't trust nothing Mel Kiper says." Mel Kiper's right more than he's wrong. When it
Kiper's you're right, but he also there's an agent or two in his pockets. And he's pushed a couple guys up the draft board. And I think they've in the last couple years, some of those guys that he pushed have fallen like lead balloons down the draft board a little bit. The first person I think of is this kid Levis. He was all over Levis. Told me Levis had the most arm talent in this draft class, and I thought it was Hedden Hooker. But I can see what he's talking about because see, here we go. We back into the Midnight Rider lingo. Mel Kiper has a type. And when you have a type, you fall for your type. Some of us like red bones, go thick. Some of us like brown skin thin. Some like them 5'5" with brown eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it's everybody's got a type. You just gotta fit into what your type is. And Mel Kiper, when it comes to quarterbacks, he has a type.
Well, the boss BJ says you pay Mel enough. ...
Exactly.
I mean, you talk about a type. You know, I like him short. I like him tall. I like him skinny legs and all. But when they walk, you know they draw a crowd. She got to have a mother for me. That's all I'm saying.
See?
But now we talk about front office. And I put this out to everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening. If you're listening to it on the playback, you know, send us a message, sidelinejunkies247@gmail.com. Are you ready to go through another rebuild? Because that's what we're getting ready to do.
Well, you have no choice.
Okay, you fire Ron. That means everybody except for Bieniemy is gone. And I guess Bieniemy, huh?
What you mean except? Everybody's gone.
So you bring Bieniemy in to let him go after a season over something that he had no control over. Offense looks way better under him, number one.
Yeah, but you gotta give the new head coach autonomy to pick his staff out and pick the guys he wants to go to war with.
I get that. And now here's
the thing. And hopefully, if anything, Bieniemy loses this job search to Ben Johnson from Detroit, and he goes somewhere else to become a head coach.
But here's the thing. I think if you're going to say if you're gonna go new coach, everybody's saying Bieniemy should be the coach, and we should give him a chance.
No, everybody's not.
Well, okay, 95% of the people are saying if I run and promote Eric Bieniemy, 95% of the people, it's a small percentage that's saying clean house. It's another small percentage saying just bring in another coach. Now, if you fire the general manager who's Martin Mayhew, executive vice president of football and player personnel Marty Herney.
Whoa, use the wrong words. It's when. There's no ifs in this equation. This is when.
When? So
because this guy doesn't subscribe to Coach Centric. So it's not his philosophy. It's like a Hakuna Matata. You got if it's a trouble-free philosophy that you subscribe to, that's how you gotta live your life. And if he doesn't live his life in a coach-centric world, he can't keep a coach-centric setup.
Okay. Now hold on. So that means everybody in the front office is gone on the football side. I don't. As far as on Jason Wright's side, I think he's gone anyway. I think they're gonna wind up phasing him out anyway. So that means everybody in the office is gone. Eric Stokes, Chris Polian, Tim Gribble, even unfortunately Doug Williams. I think they'll find another job for Doug Williams. And I got a couple comments to get to as well. But you do that, you bring in another GM. They start from the top, work their way down, start hiring, doing the hire process, get everybody in, right? This coach comes in the introductory press conference, says, give me 5 years, and we're right back at the same thing again. 4 years in, we're right at the same thing again. Then what?
I don't agree with you in that regard because some of this is going to still be here. You have, but the truth of the matter is you're not really rebuilding because this team signed a lot of guys to 1-year deals. There's a lot of free agents on this ball club. You're not carrying over many players. So it's naturally in place for them to actually have this transition happen. They planned this transition the whole time. Cody Barton, 1-year deal. Montez Sweat and Chase Young, their deals are up this year. So you can figure out the nature of what you want to do. And the only reason, this is part of the reason why I don't want to fire anybody right now, because I want this to just play out. Let this go. If it's terrible, it's terrible. If it's good, it's good. If it's exceeding expectations, fine. But let's get this out. And then now we can go figure out what we want to do. We being the man that spent $6.05 billion and bring in what he wants to bring in.
Okay. The boss BJ checking in on YouTube. I'm still doing research on whose jobs it is to prepare a team for game day. That's the coaching staff's job. I mean, when you come down to game day, this is what I've always been told. You get the game plan on Tuesday. You walk, you practice everything. You do everything you're supposed to do. Skeleton drills, 7-on-7s, all that. The script. You got the script for Sunday. Saturday night, you walk through it. Sunday morning, you do another walkthrough as you're getting ready, but it's the prepping. I seen the signal. Let's get through. Let's get through these comments, and then we gonna move on because we going down that rabbit hole. We got a couple other things to take care of. The boss BJ says, if you keep EB, you might as well keep the old owner because that's how this organization was ran for a long time.
Here we go.
The boss BJ also says, KG, the only way Ron saved his job this year was to make a playoff run.
Deep playoff run,
I'm sorry. And he said, we talked about that. And he also said, so tell Ron do his job. That's the same thing Ross said. And Ross checks in.
Good God.
He said, what has been the issue the last 4 years? Everyone has said the offense is scoring 1.8 points a game. Better than years past. The offense isn't even running on all cylinders yet. The defense has been an issue for 4 years off and on. Each year has been the same except this year, and the offense is actually scoring.
He's right.
He's right. I mean, you can't argue with numbers. So if you watch and you didn't see the signal, we put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that.
Tuesday. Let's hit that Tuesday night. Let's write that down. Tuesday night. Let's finish this up.
Tuesday night. We'll talk Commanders. We'll do our normal thing. We'll talk Commanders for at least give it 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. We'll talk Commanders. responsibility. Let's call that responsibilities. Let's call it that. All right, we got to jump. Hold on. V. Williams said, "Good job, thank you." The defense fell off the map. Yeah. And Ross said, "Bet." Now hold on. If we're gonna do this on Tuesday, we don't have anybody lined up for Joe the Fan, right?
I have some pots on
Okay,
the stove.
Okay.
So let's play it by ear for right now.
Okay, because I was gonna say if we don't have anybody, I would love to have Ross sit in on this one.
I got you.
I loved it because it's great because the dichotomy is we're on two different sides of the fence, but we can have an intelligent conversation. And I love that. That's what this show is about. It's not about hooping and hollering and talking about how, Sway, how? You don't have the answers. No, we're not doing that.
This is ludicrous. It is abysmal. It is pathetic. It is fragilistic espialidocious. I don't believe, Skip. I'm sorry.
Oh, shoot. All right, man. I can only talk MLB playoffs with this brother sitting right here.
Shocker.
Yeah, the O's.
Oh, that's not the shocker.
The O's get bounced. And Ross says, I absolutely, I totally get your point. And I love it, man. I love having people I can actually sit around and talk with. So, but MLB playoffs, Bryce Harper. Let me ask y'all this. Did y'all get offended by Bryce Harper last night?
That's what Bryce do.
First it was the stare down, then it was the
But Bryce, I mean, this started Bryce's rookie year when he came out to hit and he scuffed up the A that Atlanta has before you step in the batter's box. Like he walked through it because it's a chalk outline of an A. He scuffs it up with his shoes and then steps in the batter's box. Like he's had this thing as a villain with Atlanta for a long time. So I wasn't surprised at all. I actually knew I was mad at myself because I didn't put him in my parlay last night.
Here's the thing. And the boss BJ chimed in. He said the nose.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, that's heartbreaking right there, bro. You go through and had this magical run, and it was magical. You got the city on fire. Everything's orange and black. You know, they lit up everything, and then you go in there and you lose 3 straight.
But I told you, this is the Nats version of 2012. This team overachieved. They got to the playoffs. They didn't have what they needed. And now it's management's job to put things in place to get the O's further along.
But we were talking about Bryce Harper and the Fields. Let me ask you this. Now, this goes to everybody watching, everybody listening. Who's your favorite that's left over now?
I got the Phillies. I mean, depending on what happens these next 2 games with Atlanta, I said it in the All In Sports thing that I did the other night. I think the Fields built something last year. By them being a wild card, getting in the playoffs, they built the confidence that it doesn't matter how we get in to the dance. We just got to get in the dance, and we'll take care of business from there. They got 2 of the best starters left with Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. Unfortunately, tonight, I think they got Roger Suarez, who some nights Suarez is baby Cy Young, and other nights just trying to figure out how he got in the ballpark without a ticket. So, yeah, I think the Phillies are the favorites that's left. I'm shocked the Dodgers went out, but then again, I'm looking at some trends where the wild card teams have like gotten their fair share of victories in this new format. So that's another thing that baseball is gonna probably look into. You might see some changes to that, to the playoff format to try to appease people. Again. Because you gotta remember, KG, we live in a world where if we deem it not fair, then we gotta fix it to make it fair for everybody. And there's a reason we have in sudden death overtime, it's no longer sudden death overtime because it was unfair seeing Tom Brady drive down the field and not seeing Pat Mahomes get a chance. But I'm gonna stay in baseball. I think the Phillies and the Diamondbacks will be exciting because the Diamondbacks probably has the most dominant pitcher left, which is Zach Gallen. So them two playing or them playing the Braves, it's going to be interesting. And Colin Carroll is my guy for Arizona. He's dynamic. He's going to probably be one of the next best things in the baseball. And then on the American League side, with Houston and Texas, I mean, they've been battling all year long, and I think Houston's going to steal this. So get ready for your man Dusty to be back in the World Series. I got Dusty and the Astros against the Phils, and then I have the Phils winning it all.
Ross says D-backs has some young talent. I think that's going to be if the Phils can take this series. I think that's going to be interesting NLCS. So I will say that. Ross also says, I want Bryce to win it. I root for him, not against the Yankees or the Nats, but the rest of the time. And I agree with that. You know, when he left DC, I was like, another indication of a talented player leaving DC again to go find success elsewhere.
Wow.
Huh?
I said, wow.
Yeah.
I thought addition by subtraction.
I mean, come on now. You don't like Eddie Jones for some odd reason. So, I mean.
No. So you got to hear me out. So Bryce, I thought Bryce was one of those guys that was a little prickly. And there was some issues maybe with him in the clubhouse. He had the thing with the Nat Strangler, Papelbon. But the other part of it is I just felt like that team never always clicked while he was here. And it was funny because the second he left, you already had his replacement in Soto. So you weren't trying to replace his production. You know, all you were doing was trying to get somebody else that was a glue guy to put all this together. And crazily enough, somehow Baby Shark pulls this all together and we get a run. You get a guy like Howie Kendricks, who's on his last nine holes of his baseball career, who played a pretty solid year and then stood out in the playoffs. Then you have Rendon have one of the most impressive World Series after the sixth inning. And he was hitting like 475 or 500 with multiple doubles and home runs. So, yeah.
But see, you forgot the catalyst. You forgot the catalyst to that World Series run.
Strasburg?
Ryan Zimmerman, man.
Mr. And I think he was the one for the ride. I think he was on the back holding on to the thing. But all right, I can go with that.
That's okay because I think that right there made it more special because he had been there since the beginning. So that's what made that run so special. And it was like you wanted to see him get a ring more than anybody else. So, Houston and Texas, I think. And here's the thing: I'm looking at the seedings, and the O's were the number one seed,
yeah,
in the AL, and you lost to a wild card team.
But that's happening right now, KG. That's this new format. That's why you got people complaining, managers complaining because they've been off for a week. After you've been playing baseball every day, day in, day out, now you got to sit for a week. Meanwhile, this other team that you're playing against or that's coming in to play you, they've had the repetitions all week long to get to this point. So they're just ready to go. And you got to somehow like kick it up to be able to compete with them.
Understand that. Ross says, I think the learner's way of wanting to do contracts is a big reason for Harper leaving. I agree.
Yeah, so his first deal they offered him was backloaded like a mug. He said, all right, I'm going to go shop it. And then when he didn't find anything, he tried to come back. But at that point, the learners had made another move. I think that's when the Patrick Corbin signing happened. So they weren't interested in having that deal on the books again anymore. So then he found this deal with the Phillies that really isn't that great. But it gives him the ability to be in Philadelphia for a long time, which is something he didn't have that perception of when he was here.
Now, let me ask you this. That contract that they offered him, what was it? It was
like 300 or 330, yeah. But it was heavily backloaded. Like it was Bobby Bonilla special. Like the funny thing is when you look at if any guy use Spot Track to see player salaries, you're gonna see that the Nats have this absurd amount of money that's going to start being deferment payments. I know Scherzer comes up this year. I think Strauss has a deferred payment coming up. So you're going to see that in their salaries for the year.
All right. Well, Philadelphia leads the series 2-1. When did
that's the only one that's left. Everything else is decided.
And they play tonight.
They're playing right now.
They're playing right now. Okay, because I was looking for the time, and if they
started at 8:07, if you don't mind me jumping in there.
Gotcha. And if they don't win tonight, Saturday will be Game 5.
Right, and that's
Atlanta tonight there in Philly. So That's something to watch. But something else that you want to watch tonight. The Broncos take on the Chiefs. Let me rephrase that. I don't even know if he want to own them anymore. Delonte's Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe that game is in Kansas City. Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites. Over under is 47.5. That is brought to you by our official sponsor,
FanDuel. It's FanDuel.
It's FanDuel. You know what? We're going to reach out to FanDuel. Hey, we just want y'all to sponsor these segments. But, I mean, this is a no-brainer, but I'll let you have it. Thoughts on this? And I'll lob you a softball. Thoughts on this game?
Thank you, Chan Ho Park, pitching to Cal Ripken in the All-Star game. Or what's the guy's name? Is it Sijic? I think it's Sijic that pitched to Barry Bonds when he hit the home run to pass Hank Aaron against the Nationals. But get that all out the way. I think this is KC's game to win. I think KC has won 15 straight against this team. So I think I'm taking KC with the points because I think it's going to be more than 10.5. And I think they'll hit the over just because KC will have enough points out that the Broncos coming back, it'll be like a 35-20 type of ball game where we get over the over. So that's how I see that playing out. But today you might see the little running back that scored against the Commanders, McLaughlin. He might have a couple plays in this game because I've been seeing him a lot in the pregame show.
I'm on the flip side. I think this is the Chiefs game to lose.
Right.
Because if they come into this thumping their chest, maybe, just maybe, Denver gets ginned up for this and they punch the gorilla in the mouth. That's how you do it. How do you fight a gorilla? You punch him in the mouth.
Never fought a gorilla, but I'm glad to know that's the tip.
You got to know. Ross says
Baxit.
Mike Baxit gave up the Bonds record breaker.
I knew it was something like that with the crazy CSIK.
But I just believe wholeheartedly that the Broncos, they got some moves to make. And I think this is just a feeling out season. Everybody's saying, well, Sean Payton without Drew Brees, he's not that good. And he's not this, and he's not that. No. Because that exchange that he had with Russ on Sunday, I think Russ' time is almost up in Denver. So Broncos country, pack them up and let's ride. Because I done heard rumors, and it's just a rumor. I heard rumors of trading for Trey Lance. I've heard rumors of trading for possibly Derek Carr. I've heard rumors on top of rumors of trading for different quarterbacks to find somebody to fit into what they're trying to do, because I hate saying this. I really do. But when you have good players and two things happen, either they get married or they sign a massive contract, most of them fall off. Russell Wilson did both. He signed a huge contract. He got married. And he has not been the same since he did either one.
I think the Broncos this offseason draft a young quarterback because the Highway X to get out of Russell Wilson's contract is going to be too massive of a hit next year. So I think they have to wait a year to make that move. And you get a year where your young quarterback gets to sit behind somebody and learn. That's why I say it's going to be a second or a third round guy. This draft is going to be deep on quarterbacks. Like guys that we're talking about on the Tuesday list, like Quinn Ewers is probably going somewhere in the mid teens. And then you got a guy like Michael Penix that might not go until 30 or 35 because they're people going to question the system. So there's going to be quarterbacks to be had this year in the draft. This is going to be one of the deepest classes, and you're going to see quarterbacks of quality going first, second, and third round.
Paul checked in. He said Denver is desperate. Sean Payton is sour. I would love for the Broncos to win tonight, but that hasn't happened since like 2015.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I used to have, what was that? Tank for Tua, suck for luck,
Right.
I don't know. I'm with the way players look at the draft stock and be like, okay, if I'm gonna be a number one player in this draft, but I still got a year or two eligibility, I'm not coming out this year because I don't want to play with so and so.
I think that's stupid.
Well, I mean, it's work. Like when Bo Jackson was drafted by the Buccaneers, he was like, I'll never play with you. And they drafted him anyway, and he was like, okay, I'm going to play baseball. And then when he came back, they had to put him back in the draft pool, and the Raiders got him. Al Davis told him straight up, you can play baseball all you want. When you finish, come play football.
That was more out of spite for Marcus, but I got you.
It was. And I agree with you, Ross. Ross said they screwed Bo. They did. And Bo Jackson's drafting Napoleon Kaufman, the rumors of Jim Brown coming out of retirement to play with the Raiders was all a dig at Marcus Allen because Al Davis didn't like Marcus Allen. But I don't see why that's a bad thing. I mean, would you want a Caleb Williams to go to Denver? If let's say Denver had the first overall pick, which they might not. But would you want Caleb Williams to go to Denver?
I mean, I think Denver would go more of a Drake May would be their guy over Caleb. Even though we've seen the love affair for Taysom Hill, but I think Drake May would be more so a Denver guy than because Drake May's in this process. Once we get in the draft process, that top 5 list I do is going to go out the window, and it's going to be a totally different top 5 because of the way these teams like their quarterbacks and like their situations.
And Ross brought up a really, really good point, and I agree with him 1,000%. Forget 100, 1,000. Bo Jackson should be a topic one night. Hasn't been an athlete like that since. I agree.
That's an all-season topic.
And that's a good call on Drake May, Ross said. And as far as Bo Jackson goes, if you've followed us on social media, I've said something about Bo Jackson for the longest. I'm fresh 42. And since I was a kid, I never thought Bo Jackson was of this earth. I've always thought he was an alien that just blended in and was just super talented. I've never thought he was human. And I'm 42 and I still don't think the dude's human.
Hey, we right up on kickoff.
Yep, just being honest. So you know what that means. We got to wrap this shit up, B. I got a question and to wrap it up. Quick question. If you're a diehard fan of a team and a particular player that you actually like playing for your team goes to a rival, are you still going to root for that player even though you hate the team?
If he's my guy, yes.
Okay. Because I asked that question because it was a dude, he's a diehard Knicks fan, and Obi Toppin went to the Pacers. And he was like, well, fuck Obi. I don't give a shit about him. And people were like, man, what do you mean? That's supposed to be your guy. He's like, you don't understand. Reggie Miller killed us in the 90s. Well, it's not the 90s, it's 2023. He said, okay. He said, let me go root for the Bulls, the Heat, the Pacers, and me being a Giants fan, let me go root for the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. because they got players they used to play with. They said, man, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Fuck their team, fuck their play. He just went off, and I agree with him.
I like that sentiment, but again, it depends on if it's my guy. I mean, I'm not fighting the world over Obi Toppin. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that was just a player discussion, and he was like,
"No, I'm just saying. Oh, I mean, I can't. Like, I don't have the energy to waste an argument on Obi Toppin. I might as well sit here and talk about, like, I don't know. Let's argue over Danny Avia, and if Avia went to the Knicks, am I going to hate Avia because he's with the Knicks? That's we're wasting brain cells on this.
Ross said, "I'll root for that player, just not for him against my team." I get that.
Exactly.
The only player that left the Bulls, and this is basketball related, the only player that left the Bulls that I continued to root for was Derrick Rose. Everybody else, like when Eddie Curry left, Tyson Chandler left, Luol Deng left. All right, see you. You don't see red anymore. Bye. Ross said Brian Mitchell, Art Monk, Gary Clark, and a lot of guys. It's different in football for me. It's different. As long as they don't go to Dallas, I'm okay. But when they come from Dallas, they got to be baptized first. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are up against kickoff. It is 8:20. Hopefully, your fantasy lineups are set for the night. You got your picks in because nobody want to lose a 9-game lead and then be, talking about in the offseason. Nobody want to believe you because these guys ain't gonna believe you. So, until Saturday. We're supposed to come back on Saturday. And Ross said Richard Hamilton as well. Yeah, Rip Hamilton was another one. So until Saturday, y'all be easy. That's the wrong side. That's the Midnight Rider. You got it wrong.
I'm pointing to you.
You're not pointing to me.
On my screen, I am. I don't know about on yours.
On my screen, you pointing. You doing this. There you go.
Okay, my bad. Because on this, this look good.
You gotta remember what hand you shoot with.
Hey, I got it right there.
Thank you, Rose. And we got a couple of discussions that we need to have in the near future. So that's most definite. For the Midnight Rider, the boss BJ in the comments, Ross in the comments, everybody that liked, watched and everything. Thank you. Hopefully, y'all drop them Twitter handles. We get this thing on Twitter and we start ourselves a mob. We start doing some spaces on Twitter and everything. But we just need to open up some rooms and get some stuff done. But until Saturday, look at the clock, baby. 48 minutes. We don't do no overtime. We are out of here.